bastard Texas long snake black. Texas long snake black, after what happened in the mines of Moria, I'll never forgive you. You're a dead man.
Now, Denimsfield, listen. You know that's my brother's name, first of all. I'm the Scorpion. Long Snake's my brother.
You can't fool me. My elven eyes see through your lies.
Now listen, they was fine sheep, I'll give you that. But everybody makes mistakes, and furthermore, I don't have time for this right now. There's a whole posse of lawmen that are coming right for my ass.
But it's because of you and those sheep the lawmen are after me. So what am I gonna do now?
Now, I'll tell you what you're gonna do is you're gonna team up with me, partner, because look, they're about 2 minutes behind me that way, and when I was coming over the ridge, I saw about 20 of them coming from the other way after you. So you don't have much of a choice, do you?
Well, I guess I don't.
Oh crap, partner, I'm out of ammo. I got nothing left. Do you have an idea?
I have an idea.
Howdy, partners, and reach for the sky! You've tuned back into the internet's most infamous monster truck drama program, RM Shoots, and here we have Hot Takes. Today, I want to talk to you about willpower. You see, human beings live smack dab in the middle between their temptations and their logic. Now, we drink from the nourishing waters of the fountain of life that exists directly on the tightrope between these two concepts. And brother, today,
somebody's poisoned the water hole!
This is the Heritage Rough Rider. This pretty little number, for most shooters, lives in the far reaches of our minds, but for the rest of us, it lives smack in the middle. Impossible to be ignored. The Heritage Rough Rider costs anywhere between $140 to about $300, depending on how exotic you like it. It comes in every conceivable barrel length, everything between 1 to 16 inches. It comes with any type of wood, with any type of engraving, and with the 16-inch barrel, you can even have it with a stock, or without one. It comes with several different types of steel treatment, in both blued and simulated case hardening. You can get it in .22 long rifle and .22 Winchester Magnum rifle. Potent stuff. They can even come with adjustable sides and a top rail for mounting things like EOTechs or flashlights. I highly recommend that one. They come with threaded and unthreaded barrels with, or in our case, without, commemorative wooden boxes with plush foam inserts. And right when you thought that the overly long list form of humor had been milked to its logical conclusion, it also comes with a stick. So let's just say hypothetically that a few buddies go into a local purveyor that is known to carry a few Rough Riders and have a little looky-loo at it. Well, it gets a lot more complicated from there.
It's $249.99. The standard one, right here, $289. This one looks like the exact same style.
But it's the dark walnut.
It's $100 cheaper.
And which is still $30 or whatever cheaper, or more expensive rather than this one, which is nearly identical except the barrel is shorter on this one. But then the barrel is 4 times as long on this one, and it's even less money. But why would you, like, you're buying a replica Cowboy 6-shooter 22 revolver.
Fiber optic fence.
And then once a very helpful staff member comes and helps these boys out and shows them how misguided and extremely off base they were with figuring out what gun was what price, and they get a few Rough Riders picked out, it gets a little more complicated from there too.
What revelation did you just What revelation did you just
So I paid extra money for this fancy wooden grip, a shorter barrel, and I have to use a stick to eject the casing. There's no ejector.
So you have to use a stick. At least it's a nice stick.
It is a nice stick.
It is a nice stick.
And I didn't get the Magnum.
Even though there's a compartment for it.
Even though there's a compartment for it.
I ended up getting one, and I didn't think I was going to get one. So, hey.
I think you paid $10 more than me.
$209 was mine.
$199.
Okay.
But when it's time to hit the range, load up your 6-shooters and take aim, things get a lot less complicated and a lot more simple. Alright, and I guess you just want to run up and shoot at stuff, right?
Sure.
How do you feel, Mr. Krabs?
RM shoots.
RM shoots and misses. Until it gets complicated again.
Oh, let's do some cowboy action unloading. Come on, everybody, let's have some fun. It's like not even coming out. Can I have your stick again? I can push it, maybe, okay, I'm gonna push it all the way back in and then just rocket it out.
But pump the brakes there, Hoss. Before we get into the nitty-gritty of this whole ordeal, I think it's important to shed a little bit of historical context onto the situation. No, not that context. As I mentioned, Rough Rider, and to a larger extent the Heritage Manufacturing Company in of itself, is shrouded in mystery. What are these little .22 revolvers? Where did they come from? Who cares anyway? Well, I'm going to explain that to you if I'd just stop talking. Heritage Manufacturing started up in 1992, or at least that's what I can figure from their gun magazine inside cover ad marketing style paragraph that's on their website. But you see, I'm an intrepid investigator, and I have used technology that is only available to us hardcore press affiliates to go way back to do a little bit more research.
Are you talking about Internet Archive?
No. Heritage was founded in scenic Apalaka, Florida by Jay Bernkrant, who tragically passed away of October of this year. Jay's fledgling company originally had 2 firearms offered. First was a compact semi-auto pistol that boasted ambidextrous safeties, a striker-fired mechanism, and a fixed barrel that was paired with a gas-delayed blowback system. The Stealth came in both 9mm and, oh my god, 40 Smith & Wesson? And, according to an August of 1997 issue of Guns and Ammo, possesses excellent reliability and very good ergonomics. I don't know why that was funny. The other was a shoulder-mounted flamethrower. The other was the Heritage Rough Rider. As way back as 2000, the Heritage Rough Riders were offered in both standard and bird's head grips. They came in 3 barrel profiles and also came with a nickel or blued finish. They were also dabbling in some special editions with fancy textured grips and everything. And they even have an edition that came with an Adco red dot dovetailed onto the top. I'm probably wrong about this, but I'm getting the feeling that Heritage would have really liked their Stealth pistol to get really famous and successful so they could further invest in their semi-auto handgun development and maybe take over the world in that way. Their idea for the Stealth was pretty interesting. I don't have a ton of experience with gas delay blowback pistols. The only real one that I've ever handled was the Walther CCP, but maybe it was just a little ahead of its time. You know? I mean, the Lago Alien is now using that system. It just took a little while for people to catch up. Or maybe the benefits didn't outweigh the disadvantages, that's the word I'm looking for. But whatever the case, the stealth didn't work out for Heritage and the Rough Rider did. So much like my pop punk side project versus my heavy metal band, the true victor has been discovered and pop punk wins the day. This is the pop punk in the analogy, in case you didn't figure that out. So by 2003, Heritage has a new, kind of better looking website, and they're also offering a Rough Rider in 17 HMR. So this is where the website stagnates for a few years, or at least using my Wayback my exclusive technology, I couldn't see anything updating. And this is also around the time a new secret comes to light. In 2012, Heritage was officially purchased by none other than Taurus USA, that is, which is important because this isn't evident on their website whatsoever. But if you check the address of Taurus USA, it is the same one in Miami, Florida as Taurus USA's manufactory. We actually have one of the bunch that was produced in Miami, USA. But that wasn't the only big change. Heritage at this point offered a big bore Rough Rider. This more accurate replica came in 45 Colt, 44 Magnum, and 4570 or 4440, it doesn't matter. You can't buy them anymore, at least not new, because it took a few years, but the big bore Rough Rider finally fell out of favor. And I think this might have something to do with the manufacturing plant moving from Hialeah, Miami, Florida, United States, North America, to Bainbridge, Georgia. Bainbridge location is where all current production Rough Riders are produced. And since then, the variety in them has exploded in flames, just like the Battle of San Juan Hill. So this example right here is what we consider to be the most standard Rough Rider. It's got a 6.5-inch barrel, it's all blued, Cocobolo grips, 22 long rifle, Heritage Mufk. From the front, we'd have what you'd expect, a fixed blade sight leading back to a very functional notch. This is the ejector rod built into the side of the gun, and a blued cylinder and frame. These are the nice Cocobolo grips. I don't know how real that is, but they look good. And then there's this. This is the first thing that griped me about the Rough Rider. This is a safety selector. Up is safe, down is draw. Okay, down is live, to put it more boringly. Now, anyone into 6-shooters, Colt single action armies, whatever you want to call them, will know that they've never had safeties on them. And this is what makes them dangerous to load all 6 rounds into the cylinder. I'll explain. See, the simplicity of these mid-1800s firearms is that the hammer bounding forward is enough to fire off a round. This isn't a problem if you're loading 6 rounds up for a shootout, but it's a pretty big deal if you're gonna ride on horseback for any reason, which I think a lot of people in the 1800s did. Guys, if you know anything about 1800s travel, just leave a comment, please. So the workaround of this is to leave one chamber empty. That way there's nothing for the hammer to fall onto and the firing pin to strike. This method worked for them back in the day, but it's not the 1800s anymore, so now we have a safety. It does its job. And enthusiasts or collectors are just gonna have to live with it because this gun isn't just for them. There's nothing better than a little .22 in your hand to learn the basics of firearm control and handling. If you have to learn the rough lesson of loading and unloading every single shot like they did back in the day, you never know, it might make you a more patient person. And while we're on that topic, it's important to note out exactly what a single action does versus what it doesn't do. A single action means that every pull of the trigger performs one action, which is the act of releasing the hammer. Now a double action would cock the hammer while pulling the trigger. Let's be real here. This is a replica of a Colt single action army in .22 long rifle. They cost $140. Well, granted, some of them are more expensive, but the point being is it's affordable. It makes for a good time. Why don't you just grab one, head out to the range, and feel the thrill of reloading in a battle? Well, each one of these, for various reasons, feels a lot different in the hand. The most different of which is we've dubbed the Scorpion here with this cool gold hammer and trigger and everything. This invokes Wyatt Earp's infamous bunt line. But unlike books about Wyatt Earp, we're going to tell you the real story on these Rough Riders. These guns do have their issues. For instance, we've each run into issues with the lockup and the timing being a problem. Not like explode in your hand kind of problem, but the kind that you do have to disassemble the gun to fix. This causes some annoyance, especially when you're out there having fun. But like I said, if this was a $600 Uberti replica, I'd probably be on the phone with tech support or sending it back, but given what the nature of what this is, it is mostly just an annoyance. Now the first one we reckon is being caused by certain ammunition types mushrooming slightly at the back, or ballooning, or whatever you want to call it, and not allowing the cylinder to fully rotate. There is a surface inside the back of this gun that it seems like the casings are getting jammed up on. So another thing that's interesting to note is the ejector system on this. The way to eject casings out of this is to open it, push the ejector down, and then switch to the next chamber and rinse and repeat. Now, one of these guns didn't come with an ejector built into it. And we thought, man, that's kind of cheap, or maybe it's just for some next level enthusiast crap. Well, we realized why that is. This ejector rod is not long enough to actually push casings out of this gun.
You can see how much actually pops out from the cylinder like that. Okay, this is when it's fully, the plunger is fully depressed. This is more traditional. Yeah, and I have a feeling that this is the earlier model, and the one that Josh got is the updated model where they just forwent this entire thing and gave you a stick. So, evidently stick is love and stick is life.
So now you know what these Rough Riders represent, and I've given you my spiel on what I think of them and the issues that we have all encountered with them. Sure, practicality is not a big thing with these as far as defensive use or competition shooting or whatever, but something tells me that if you're looking at a single action Army replica in .22 long rifle, practicality is not super important to you. So, I say for the price point, and it is really difficult to find a gun cheaper than one of these, well, guns that aren't total memes at least. I'm looking at you, C9. These guns make for some really great fun on the cheap. And if for some reason one of them gets lodged in the back of your head, just go and pick one up, especially if you got the extra cash to spend on it. So come on, Pilgrim, you got work to do. We'll catch you a little bit further down the line. This is when I jump out the window for real.